So what I'm going to show you here is how to create promoted links in a SharePoint team site. Now when you go to a SharePoint team site, by default you'll get basically this getting started option here, which is very much like our promoted sites is going to look. So we get a number of icons. You'll see that when I mouse over I get the text, and when I click on one of these I will go to the link that is behind that tile. So how do we go and create our promoted links? Well, what we need to do is we need to go down to the bottom left here in the quick launch menu and select site contents. That will allow us to go in and select the option here to add an app. So when we have the list of apps here, we need to scroll through this list here until we find the option for promoted links. So here's the option here for promoted links, just like any other standard SharePoint app. So we select that. In this case, we're going to simply call that app menu. Now, when we create that, that's going to basically add the app to our team site. And as you can see here, called menu. Okay, so to access that, we simply click on that item and we effectively are taken to a blank screen, because you'll notice that there are no promoted links as yet. So to add those, what I need to do is select the option here called all promoted links. This will give me a list. So I'm going to add each promoted item in here. Just go to new item, and then that will pop up with a menu. So the first one here is I'm going to make a promoted link to my documents. Okay, so I want it to link to the option over here for documents. Okay, you'll see that I can specify a background image, which we'll do later. We put in here the text that we want. So we're going to just call this document library. Okay, and then this is the link location. So when we click on the tile in our promoted links, where is it actually going to take us? So the quick way to do that is if we go over to documents over here, right mouse click, and we copy the shortcut. Okay, then we go over here and paste it. So this is what the link will look like. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of the end part there. So it'll take me directly to that location. And then I will simply paste that into that location here. And I'm just going to call that documents. Okay. Now, then the next option here is that I can determine what the launch behavior is. So when I click on it, do I want it to replace the page that I'm on? That's called in-page navigation. Do I want it to pop up a dialog on top of the screen that I'm currently on, or do I want to open a new tab? So in this case, I'll just leave it as in-page navigation. The final option here is to set an order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how it will appear in the list of tiles. So if we always want it to be the first tile, we make it number 1. If we perhaps want to insert a tile before it, we'd make it a higher number. But in this case, I'm going to leave it as 1 and go save. So you'll now see that this will update. I have one item in here and is my order number 1. So next thing is I'm just going to go in and add one here for calendar. Right, so I'm going to call this calendar and not any menu. So this is just going to be called standard calendar. Okay, so the link location again, I'll go over to here, right mouse click on here, copy the shortcut, and then basically paste it in here. Just get rid of the end bit there, call it calendar, and again going to set it so that it does in-page navigation if I make that order number 2, and then I save that. So now you'll see that I have these two items. You'll see that the view this is at is called all promoted links. Now to get it basically in the tile format, I select the tile view. So if I select that, you'll see now I have the tile there. When I mouse over, I get the text that I put in there as well. Now to get back to the ability to add more items to my promoted links, I need to go up to list and I need to change the current view from tiles. Okay, so I need to pull this down and go back to all promoted links. Now what I'm going to do is go in here, and I'm actually going to go in here and I am going to select the option to edit this. So again, all I need to do basically in here is to edit this. So I select that and then I go up to my items and then I go up to edit item up here. Alright, so you'll see that now I have the same information I have, but what I'm going to do now is add a background image. Now, what I have is I have a number of images that I've stored in my site assets library. So there's one here called My Documents. So to get the URL there, I basically click on the ellipse and I copy this URL here and take that and put that into there. Give that a name. Okay, and then save that item up here. And basically then repeat the same thing for calendar. So again, go up to items, go up to edit item. That brings up my edit. Go back across to my images, select the calendar icon, and basically get the URL for that icon. Paste that in there and call that calendar again and save that. Okay, so that will now update. So now if I go back to my tile view, what we'll see is that we have our name of our tile. When we mouse over it, we get the text that was in the description, but now I have also added a background image from my site assets. Now the important thing to remember here is that that image needs to be available as a read-only item for users who are going to use that promoted links area, and generally the best place to put that is in the hidden document library called site assets. That guarantees that they'll always get read access to it. Alright, so again what we did here is we went into site contents, we went in and added an app called promoted links. We then went into the promoted links and we went in here and we looked at a view called all promoted links. Okay, let's get that to display here. Okay, all promoted links. Then we went in there and we added individual items. We put in the link location that they navigated to. We can also put in a description as well as potentially a background image. When we have that list of items, you'll see that we can then swap over to our tile view and we'll get this nice display. Now, if I click on, for example, documents, that should take us to our document library, which it does. If I then go back and select calendar, you'll see that it takes us to that calendar item. So remember that those promoted links can link to any URL. They just don't have to be within the team site. They could also be to external sites or somewhere else in Office 365. But that's the basis of using promoted links, which you can use to create some very graphical menu items and buttons for users in your team site.